Thor Love and Thunder Review. Welcome to True Recaps. Spoilers ahead. Today we are going to review the latest Marvel action movie, Thor Love and Thunder, released in 2022. The film begins with Gorr, played by Christian Bale, walking through an arid wasteland with his ill daughter, played by India Hemsworth. Gorr carries the girl in his arms until she dies. Later, he comes across a paradise with food and water belonging to the god Rapu, played by Johnny Burg. Gorr is Rapu's last disciple, and he asks the deity for assistance. Rapu avoids Gorr coldly, and Gorr rejects him. Gorr is then summoned by the Necrosword, a weapon capable of killing gods that was recently recovered from another entity that attempted to slay the gods. Gorr accepts the Necrosword's summons and kills Rapu. He then swears to murder every single god. Korg, played by Taika Waititi, relates the legend of Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth, to a group of Asgardian children. He was raised in war and became a legendary hero, saving the world numerous times while also losing many close friends and family members, including his mother Frigga and of course Loki. Thor has gotten back into form since his last adventure and has been on numerous adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, Drax, played by Dave Bautista, Mantis, played by Pom Klementieff, Nebula, played by Karen Gillan, Rocket, played by Bradley Cooper, and Groot, played by Vin Diesel. Thor is hiding a lot of emotional sorrow behind his tough appearance, according to Korg, since he still misses the love of his life, Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman. Thor and the Guardians arrive on a world that has been taken over by bird-like invaders. Thor wields Stormbreaker and flies into battle, with help from the Guardians for shooting and heavy lifting. After Thor destroys all of the invaders' ships, the monarch of the country presents Thor and the Guardians with two massive screaming goats. Jane has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer on Earth. Darcy Lewis, played by Kat Dennings, is there for her as she is through chemotherapy. Dr. Eric Selvig, played by Stellan Skarsgård, also tries to help, but Jane's prospects are bleak. In search of additional assistance, she investigates Asgardian magic and discovers that Mjolnir may hold the key to her salvation. Valkyrie, played by Tessa Thompson, reigns as king in New Asgard, which has become a tourist attraction, complete with its own theatre troupe of actors reenacting Thor's adventures, with Luke Hemsworth as Thor, Matt Damon as Loki, Sam Neill as Odin, and Melissa McCarthy as Hela. Jane visits a museum where Mjolnir's fractured pieces are on exhibit. In Jane's presence, the pieces appear to glow and react. As the squad takes off to tame the goats, they discover a distress signal from Lady Sif, played by Jamie Alexander, who reaches out to Thor and appears to be in the midst of a violent fight. Thor decides to separate with the Guardians, knowing that they may be facing a greater threat than they realize. He utilizes Stormbreaker's ability to open the Bifrost and travel to Sif's location. Thor and Korg travel to an icy realm and discover the skeleton of a creature known as Faligar. Thor discovers Sif wounded and without an arm, believing she is ready to die. She informs Thor about Gorr and how he hunts the gods, earning him the moniker God Butcher. They return to New Asgard, where Gorr and his black berserkers are fighting the Asgardians. Thor uses Stormbreaker to defeat the beasts, while Korg transports Sif to safety. Thor is overjoyed to see Mjolnir approaching him in the thick of the battle, until it returns to Jane, who is now dressed as the mighty Thor. Thor is taken aback to see her there. Korg's story begins with a quick flashback to Thor and Jane's romance. They began a serious relationship after their prior adventures, but due to Thor's heroics and Jane's studies in science, they couldn't make the relationship work and had to break up. Thor is still overjoyed to see Jane again. Gorr then orders his monsters to kidnap the Asgardian children and imprison them far away from home. Axel, played by Kieran L. Dyer, Heimdall's son, projects an image onto the heroes. With Thor's assistance, he is able to demonstrate to Thor that the children are being held in the Shadow Realm. Thor decides to get together with Jane, Valkyrie, and Korg to enlist the assistance of other gods. The team heads to Omnipotent City, a gathering place for all gods. As Thor mentions Zeus while an inspiration, the four disguise themselves and sit as they watch Zeus, played by Russell Crowe, make a big appearance. However, Zeus rapidly reveals himself to be little more than a jerk who is more concerned with orgies than the gods' well-being. He captures Thor and exposes him, literally naked, causing the other three to show themselves. Thor informs Zeus and the gods about Gorr and his promise to pursue them all. But while Zeus understands the danger Gorr poses, he tells Thor that he cannot be bothered to intervene or even lend him his lightning bolt. Gorr will also not reach eternity, which Valkyrie informs Jane is a cosmic being that can grant a wish to anybody who calls it, implying that Gorr will utilize his wand to slay all the gods at once. Thor and his comrades fight Zeus's guards, but Zeus hits Korg and shatters his body, but does not kill him. Thor responds by launching Zeus's bolt into his chest. Korg summons the goats to bring their ship back so they can escape. On their way to the Shadow Realm, Thor notices Stormbreaker is clearly jealous of Thor's attention to Jane and Mjolnir, leading him to reassure the axe that they are still a couple. Thor and Jane converse and appear to reignite their romantic feelings for each other. The ship then arrives in the Shadow Realm, where everything is colorless. Jane launches Stormbreaker into space, knowing that Gorr would utilize the Bifrost to discover eternity. Gorr tracks them down and battles Thor, Jane, and Valkyrie, hurting Valkyrie in the process. Gorr threatens Jane and Valkyrie with death until Thor summons Stormbreaker, leaving him little choice but to do so. Thor grabs the axe and opens the Bifrost, attempting to flee with Jane and Valkyrie, but Stormbreaker is caught by Gorr just as they are teleported. Jane has lost her armor and has become weaker and unwell. Jane is taken to a hospital where Thor discovers that her continued usage of Mjolnir is hastening her death. Despite her desire to assist Thor in his fight against Gorr, he informs her that he loves her and wishes she was still alive. She gives in and lets Thor depart on his own. Thor receives Zeus's lightning bolt from Valkyrie and proceeds to confront Gorr. Gorr transports the youngsters to eternity, where he deploys Stormbreaker to start the process. Thor arrives and fights Gorr with all his might, but Gorr soon overwhelms him. Jane sees this and wields Mjolnir once more, pummeling Gorr and assisting Thor in freeing Stormbreaker. Thor also offers the children temporary powers to combat the Black Berserkers with their own weapons. Thor and Jane shatter the Necrosword with their combined strength. The portal to eternity, on the other hand, has been opened. Thor reminds Gorr that he doesn't want revenge, but rather love, before he may make his request. Thor chooses love over fighting Gorr because he wants to spend his final moments with Jane, who is dying. Gorr realizes he is dying as a result of his protracted corruption by the Necrosword, and he uses his wish to see his daughter one final time. Thor remains by Jane's side, renewing their love and sharing one final kiss as her corpse disintegrates. Gorr spends one last minute with his daughter, asking Thor to look after her before he dies. Korg concludes his story by calling Jane a hero and an Asgardian legend because of her sacrifice. Valkyrie returned to governing New Asgard, enlisting Sif's assistance to teach the youngsters self-defense. Korg got his body back and found a male partner from his species. Thor is now raising Gorr's daughter as his own, and she is revealed to be just as tough as he is. They proceed outside their house to face an impending threat together, and Korg refers to them as Love and Thunder. That's all for this video. Please like, subscribe, share and comment on this video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thanks for watching.